This is the Seven Figure Standard Podcast, hosted by Arash and Mykie Stiller, with mindset and strategies to help you break through and create personal freedom.
Hello, and welcome back to the Seven Figure Standard Podcast. I'm Mykie Stiller, joined by my co-host, Arash, and we're so thrilled to be back with you for another episode. This week, we are going to talk about something I would say important, but a better word might be vital to your success, and that is confidence. You can't achieve great success without improving your confidence or without a certain level of confidence. So, Raj, let's get right into it. You're actually the one that wanted to do this episode on confidence. Why don't you tell me why?
I think because it's such a huge part in building success. I was doing a training this morning, and I told everybody in the training, I said, everyone wants world-class results, yet they have middle-class behaviors, and it doesn't work. So we've got to get rid of the limiting thinking, which we talked about last week, but we have to build confidence. Like Emerson wrote a great essay on self-reliance. If you haven't studied it, I highly recommend you studying it. But he says self-confidence is the first requisite of understanding. Like if we don't understand ourselves, we're not going to see ourselves able to do the things that we want to do. It's not who you are that is holding you back. It's who you think you're not. When we say they can do it, but we can't. They're better, but we can't. Well, what got them better? We've got to understand this. We have to understand confidence comes through studying and doing, studying and doing, studying and doing. We have to study our craft. We have to understand and study ourselves before we're gonna go do something. But I want to get it in the doing, because you're going to gain the confidence through your failures. You're going to gain them by putting yourself on the hook. And I think confidence is so important. Like if you study any confident individual, at one point, they were super insecure. Why did they get so confident? Because they didn't like that version of themselves. They wanted to master themselves. They wanted to conquer themselves. And every confident person will tell you that they bet on themselves before they were even ready. And so when we look at confidence, it is so important to have it. The misnomer is somebody says, Mike, I'm not confident. They're confident in certain areas. Everyone's confident in certain areas. They may not be confident in the area they want to gain confidence, and we've got to put a lot of attention on that. And we've got to build that just like we're working out and we're training our muscles. Well, confidence is a muscle. The more you use it, the more it grows. The less you use it, the more excuses you give it, the more it's contracted. And you're going to always be thinking of what you're not instead of what you are.
This is so good already. I'm so glad we're doing this episode. You said something at the very beginning that I want to go back to. You said a lot of people want world-class results, but they've got middle-class behaviors. And I would say that that is brutally honest, but that's what you need to be with yourself. You need to be brutally honest. Do you think that the masses are not paying attention, or do you think that they're lying to themselves? Because I would say a lot of people aren't being that honest with themselves.
I think they just don't reevaluate their beliefs. They don't know what their beliefs are. A great question I ask myself all the time, what are my limiting beliefs? Like if I'm asking everybody, what are your limiting beliefs? Most people are not aware of them because they push them down. I want to bring them up to the surface, because some of my greatest limiting beliefs have become my greatest empowering beliefs now, because you deal with them. But I was on a walk the other day, and I was thinking about my mom. My mom passed away almost 3 years ago. And my dad passed away when I was 15. And my mom did the very best she could. But she never at that time was in charge of the finances. So she was starting over. And then she got into defense mode because that's what she knew, because she didn't want to lose it. So everything was in defense mode. And I thought, well, where did I get my beliefs from? I got it from that same mode, and my mom did a great job. My brother and I, she did a fabulous job. This isn't me knocking my mom, but it's like, where did I get my programming from? My mom, my dad, the people who I spent my time with. But we want to start reevaluating it. And I reevaluated my beliefs that these were not in harmony with the person I wanted to become. So I wanted to upgrade it. But most people are keeping the same beliefs, yet they want different results. They say, I don't get why I'm not doing it. They're not studying themselves and understanding what is the dominant beliefs. You see, we've got to understand before anyone's going to increase their income, they've got to increase their belief. And if you look, let's say you and I were talking, and I said, you could finish, I guarantee you could finish every sentence of mine. Money grows on what?
Trees.
Yeah. A penny saved is a penny
earned.
Yeah. Do you see how limiting these beliefs are? They're conditioned in us at such a young age. Money is the root of all
evil.
Right? Why do we all know this? Because
Yeah.
that was the conditioning. We've got to change the conditioning. And you may say, well, what does that have to do with confidence? It has everything to do with confidence, because whatever idea we accept, we're going to express. And so we want to get rid of anything that is not in harmony with confidence. I look at confidence just like I do your subconscious mind as your silent partner. I look at confidence as one of your partners. When you are confident, you are absolutely excellent. You can go look at sales professionals all over the world. When they make a sale, they feel so good. When's the best time to make a sale? Right after you made a sale. Why? Because they have confidence. But when they're in a slump, it's like whatever they touch, they are on defense mode, right? Confidence is so important. And the people who don't let it out and study themselves and really create it for themselves, they're keeping their greatness locked up inside of them.
So good. Okay, so Arash, would you say that a person's confidence level is related to their ability and willingness to get uncomfortable doing things?
No question. No question. The person, if you look at procrastination, people don't procrastinate because they want to sabotage the hell out of themselves. They procrastinate because they're insecure. They don't know what it's going to turn out to. So they don't want to go the unknown. They want to play it safe. They want to be a watcher in their life, not a player. So it's very related to that. But confidence is related to everything we do. The person who is bold, the person is like, I am willing to lose in order to win. That's a person with great confidence. Confident people don't live in the past. They look at the past and see how they can transform it into wins from a situation that happened. Confident people know there's going to be highs and lows, but they don't let it affect them. Confident people are always studying themselves and bulletproofing themselves of how they can get better. Like I'm always, every day, I want to get better than the day before. This isn't just a hyperbole. Like I really want to get better than the day before. And we've got to start stack. If we stack great days, we're gonna stack great weeks, great months, great years. But what we're doing is we're stacking confidence. What does confidence create? Motivation. What does motivation create? Bigger goals. If you spend time around a confident person does not have weak goals. They have significant stretch goals because they want to see how far they can take themselves. They want to see how far they can stretch. And we have to understand confidence just comes from falling in love with repetition. It's the repetition of doing things, of being smart enough to be around great mentors and ask them, where do you see my limiting beliefs? Where do you see my gaps? But most people won't ask that person. A confident person is hungry for that answer. They want to know from people who are already further up on the awareness chart. And they want to say, what do you see in me where I can get better? I remember, Mike, I used to ask our mentor, I said, where do you think I can get better? And one day he's like, you're doing great. I said, no, that's not a good enough answer. And he started laughing. And I said, I really want you to tell me brutally honest where you think I can get better. And he would tell me, and I would go to work on it right away. Confident people are really hungry to get better. They're not attached to the result.
Raj, this is so good because I think a lot comes with repetition, but you're so right. Confidence comes with repetition. The first time you do anything, it's uncomfortable, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. The better you get at it, the more confident you are. The more confident you are doing it, the more you want to do it. And it just creates this whole wheel of momentum. But I think where people stop themselves is by comparing where they're at to someone who's far ahead of them in the repetition. And they've got so many more reps in, they are way more confident. And so they don't even start.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. It is a terrible idea to compare yourself, first of all, to anybody, but especially somebody way ahead, because you're using the law of relativity against you. And so you want to always compare it to who you were yesterday. That is a better deal. What somebody else is doing, that's their story. That's their race. That has no bearing on you. Now, you can bridge the gap of confidence by coming from the confidence of the people you admire. That's what I've always done, where I would take my mentor's confidence and really imitate it as my own. And like Emerson says, envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. I don't agree with that. I think imitation can be a good thing when you're emulating good imitations, like good behaviors. And I remember one day my mentor said to me, Mike, he's like, I want you to come from my paradigm. So I came from his confidence. I tell all our clients, all our elite clients, I say, I want you to take my standard and make it yours. And you could switch whatever parts of it that you don't like, but start emulating it. See, when you emulate it, you become your environment. And you want to come look at people you admire and say, why do I admire that? Confidence is an attitude, and it is a very contagious attitude. When you're confident, you're not worried about whether you fall. You're not worried about whether you're going to win, because a confident person knows they're going to win. They have this inner knowingness. They know that they know that they know that they're going to outwork everybody. They're going to outpersist everybody. They're going to elevate everything up to how they want to live. And that's why confidence is so important.
And I would say this goes right along with leadership. Confidence as a leader, your entire team will have confidence if the leader has confidence. Do you want to touch on that as well?
Well, yeah, everything comes down to the leader's confidence. So, and everything comes up to the leader's confidence. So if the leader's volatile, the team is going to be volatile. They're going to always be reacting. They're going to be very fear-based. If the leader is confident, they know their job is to install that confidence and hold the image of the people they're leading, not as they currently are, but as they can be, as their potential. And it's a very important leadership trait, because they're feeding off of your belief. Confidence is a belief, and confidence has to be worked on. And it's only worked on through studying and doing. I can't say that enough. See, you lose confidence when you stop studying. You will lose it. And a person who has it knows they want to keep getting better and better. But it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And confidence has to be really developed. A lot of people are not creating the results they want, not because they're not capable, but they don't understand who they are. They think, like I said earlier, this person can do it, that person can't. That's not true. If one person can do it, anybody can do it. But you've got to want it badly enough. There's no one's going to build confidence if they have weak goals. No one's going to build confidence if they don't want to be a dog. You've got to let that dog out of you. There is another version of you dying to come out. You can't be a watcher and create amazing results. It does not happen. You have to take action. And the action is in the doing. And we all know what to do. It's not that we don't know what to do. It's that we overanalyze it and say, well, I'll do it when this happens. No, you do it right in that moment. You've got to do it now. And the doing is your gap to freedom. You get really good at the doing and doing it in a certain way with confidence, with this swagger to you. And you do it where you are right now. Somebody may be listening to this and say, I don't have their confidence. Well, you can have it. It didn't happen overnight. Every day you build on it, and it's going to create significant level of belief in yourself.
And Arash, how can someone build confidence regardless of results? Meaning, it's easy to have confidence when everything's going your way. How can you keep your confidence just as strong when you hit an obstacle, when things are not going your way, when you might, fall down?
Well, if the results has given you confidence, it's false confidence. We've got to understand that the results are just an effect. The cause is always us. The cause is how good you are at your vocation, your craft, what type of goals you have. So we have to stop being so physical, and we've got to get more committed to all in, to really creating great processes and protocols. And the results happen by default. If I'm confident because I got a great result today, tomorrow, what happens if I don't have a great result? I lose my confidence? That's false confidence. Mm-hmm. See, we've got to stay neutral. Confidence is about failing and not being agitated by the failure, but the confident person knows, oh, this is just a bump in the road. It's like you'll watch, there's so many great quotes, about confidence in the sports world. Like Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan had a similar quote: "You can't make any of the shots you don't take." And if you look at their career, they missed a lot more shots than they made. Yet they're known as the best in the history of their sports. But people look at only what they made. See, we've got to understand the times we lose are so beneficial for us. We learn so much from our losses and our wins. But if we really get emotionally involved with studying ourselves, listening to ourselves, observing our beliefs, we'll understand what we're bearing inside of us instead of dealing with.
This is so good. Arash, one of the things that I think is so powerful about the way you teach is how you break things down into applicable steps. So let's say someone's listening to this podcast right now and they're thinking, you know what? I want to build my confidence, whether it's overall or in a specific area. What is the number one thing that they should do?
Well, I would look at the people that you admire of their confidence. And I would look at them and say, what, and then write down the list of what are those traits. And then start focusing on building those traits one at a time. One of the traits that I will tell you every confident person has is they're willing to fail in order to win. And I would encourage you make that part of your philosophy. Another trait they have is they are consistently out of their comfort zone, that you want to get out of your comfort zone. And no, your brain is always working on how to get better. So every time you fall in love with repetition, you're going to gain confidence in the thing you're doing. So we've got to really focus on what does confidence mean to each individual. For everybody, it's different. I remember a time where I wasn't confident. I really needed to be liked, and I didn't like that about me. I didn't like it because it was a form of neediness. And I don't like neediness anymore because I didn't like that version of me. It's like a mirror of what you don't like, right? And so I started dealing with it. And I remember one of the best advices my mentor ever gave me. He said, if you don't get over the need to be liked, you're never going to create anything significantly. He goes, when you first start getting hated on, that's when you're going to get a badge of honor, because they don't hate on the people who do nothing. And I remember when he told me that, and I really worked at it. That was a trait that I wanted to get over for myself, as not needing to be liked, because it was exhausting. I put my one mask on here. I put one mask on for you. I put one mask on for my family. Once I got rid of it, it created a significant amount of comfort with myself. That's what confidence is. Confidence is comfort within self, where you're comfortable who you are, and you're not looking for approval from people. So I think what I would recommend everybody do is think of somebody you admire who has a great deal of confidence and emulate their confidence, make it yours. And then write out the top 5 traits of what you would like that would mean confidence for you. And I would start working on this right away. And I will tell you, you're going to get confidence from action more than anything. But you study really confident people and watch. Like when I say study them like a scientist. Watch how they talk. Watch their tone. Watch, do they hold back? I promise you they don't. Watch how they position their communication. A confident person is always working on positioning. They're always positioning things as a leader. They will never talk as victims. So start looking at these and you're going to find a common denominator of success, and that's confidence.
Oh, so good. I should have asked that last because that's the perfect action step for today's episode. But I do want to ask you one more question. What is the difference between confidence and building your self-image?
Well, your confidence is going to build your image. Your image is your foundation of all of your programming. But you want to have a significant image to create significant results. So confidence is one of the behaviors that's going to build a significant image. But we've got to stop thinking about who we're not and start focusing on who we are. A lot of people are coming from, I'm not this. Well, what tells you you're not this? I was working with a client just about an hour ago. And I asked her, I said, what do you want? What do you think your biggest gap is? She said, not feeling worthy of it. I said, okay, give me some instances that you don't feel worthy. And she was giving them to me. And I said, well, does that mean you're not worthy or you haven't built the skill yet? And she's like, I haven't built the skill. But the problem for her was she was connecting it to worthiness, and it had nothing to do with worthiness. But in her mind it did, because she said, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. When that wasn't the problem. The problem was I haven't done enough repetition. I haven't put enough controlled attention on building the skill. So we've got to be very careful that we don't just use worthiness as a crutch when it's not even the cause of it. When it's, I haven't put enough time, enough focused attention, enough repetition on getting better at the skill. So for you, what you may think is lack of confidence or lack of worthiness could be lack of attention, lack of building the skill, lack of rewiring yourself.
Arash, this has been such a fantastic episode. So much that we've left everyone to think about and certainly to apply. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. If you did, please leave us a rating review. Share this with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, Arash's book is still available for pre-order and it's coming out very soon. March 12th, it's officially shipping out everywhere. So go ahead and pre-order it today. It's called World-Class Wealth Mindset and it's available on Amazon. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the 7-Figure Standard podcast.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 7-Figure Standard. We hope you found the insights and strategies helpful on your journey to success. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform to help us reach more people like you. To learn more about Arash and Mykie and how Voss Coach & Co. can help you achieve your goals and reach new levels of success, visit vosscoachandco.com. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of 7-Figure Standard.